Welcome to Historic Spa, everyone. Of course, this circuit is absolutely legendary here in the Ardennes Forest. And, of course, the longest circuit on the Formula One calendar. 22 laps around here. And goodness me, the track map is so big it could just barely fit on the screen. I know something about that. Two DRS zones, of course, up the Kemmel Straight as well. Look at that big, long climb up to Lake Calm. I cannot wait. As it is the scene of round 9 of the Formula One World Championship by ALR. It is gold tonight then. Of course, we have a lot of drivers missing here tonight because of the horrifics going on over in of course in Iran there with a lot of quite scary videos and all that kind of stuff going on then. So, of course, more importantly, that a lot of our Iranian friends, I hope that they are all right then. Goodness me. Personally, I wish the world leaders would just, if they got problems with each other and all that kind of stuff, or if anything like that, then they can just 1v1 each other on Rust or something. I do not know. But having said that, I'm not 100% sure about the world's going on in all these political stuff. But also, I've heard that Iranian the Iranian leader is not a very nice gentleman either. I'm not too sure about Donald Trump either, to be fair, but it's kind of this is the lesser of two evils. I do not know, to be honest. I'm not going to get into politics and stuff because we got enough politics going on in the world of Formula One, haven't we? But more importantly, we hope that all our Iranian friends are safe and well, and we're hoping to see them fairly soon, very soon, in ALR Formula One racing, and of course back online as well. All right, we got a couple of cars out on circuit. Let go gold, says Knowlesy. Have I got me top messages on this time? Sad day for you, Sean. Leclerc and Tom Holland are married. And wait, Leclerc married Tom Holland. You know what? That's exactly how I read it as well, Alexander. So has Leclerc and Tom Holland been married? Oh, goodness gracious me. Can we get two quick roughs, please, Ed? No. We've also got a couple of drivers out on the circuit as well, as Knowlesy with some donkeys there as well. Julian for the win then, says Richard then. Mad Max as... hang on a minute, I can't read that. Let me put a 1 in the chat. There we go. Mad Max has been able to message me. He, Malta, and Mayran are all safe, which is fantastic to hear indeed. Then, goodness me, I've seen a lot of things on TikTok. It's quite scary stuff indeed. Then, but of course, more importantly, that they're all okay. Alexander Knowlesy, I think I call him Alexander now. I don't know why. I always find it funny when someone's nickname's their surname, but I always say their first name. I do it all the time. Yeah. Knowlesy, of course, did put in a heartfelt message as well into the gold chat as well to wish all our Iranian friends and anyone else who has been affected by all the awful events going on throughout the world. Then, of course, we wish everyone the best, and more importantly, they are safe and well. Right, as we come through Eau Rouge and Radion then, at the Kemmel Straight now then. Disgraceful behaviour, Sean. Absolutely. To be honest, technically though, Katie, I did go rough. No, not wait. Rough, not woof. Goodness me. Savasta at the top of the hill into Lake Com. One of my earliest memories of Lake Com, of course, is when Schumacher and Hill bashed wheels in the 1995 Belgian Grand Prix, when it was dry, wet race, wasn't it? Where Schumacher somehow stayed out on slick tyres. That man is absolutely incredible. That's why he is the GOAT. Is Michael Schumacher. Absolutely superb stuff indeed then. Of course, sadly, his son, Mick Schumacher, not exactly a GOAT these days. Mick Schumacher, has he ever been a GOAT? Maybe in lower formula, potentially, but unfortunately, Mick Schumacher's IndyCar career, or IndyCar debut, lasted about 4 quarters before he was unceremoniously retired at St. Pete last night as well, which, by the way, that's one good thing about me not commentating on Sundays. I can actually watch IndyCar, which is fantastic indeed. I'll change my PSN to Alexander Knowlesy. To be honest, then I'll call you Knowlesy. You can never with me. Yeah, I messaged him all till Saturday. He is doing, he said he was doing okay, which is great stuff indeed. Of course, is this from a sporting point of view, as Sebastian crosses the line and goes on to 41.6, is this 44 sporting point of view, I feel that this might have been Immortal's best opportunity to win a Drivers' Championship. I know that's not important at the moment, but that's the way my brain goes, you see. Because I am not, I should say, I'm not a man it does very well when it comes to serious stuff in the world. But of course, that is very important indeed to hear that they're all okay. Emerson comes across the line, goes third faster than Emerson's the only one of the full-time drivers yet to get off the board in terms of lack of points there. Shameful stuff, but I'm bringing that up. Riley also in the cockpit as well for the Mercedes. Sweet has gone third fastest. Markey going into third fast as well. Markey giving me all kinds of jip on Friday, Saturday. Van Von's gone fastest there on a 41.3 because he left the session and I had to redo the standing. So I was not a happy chappy on Saturday morning, I tell you that. Then again, though, of course, I did get very happy towards the end because, of course, I got a cupcake from Tesco, so that always makes things much better indeed. Julian's gone fast. Of course, Julian is a Grand Prix winner in his former career in ALR. So Julian currently fastest at the moment. As I got to sit down. I don't know what it is. I've hurt my knee somehow. As I say that, Julian has now gone faster, still by 600ths of a second here in this qualifying session. There, this is a longer lap. This one is. I think it's 7. Is it 7 kilometers long or something like that? I do not know. Maybe I should have read my scrapbook before coming on air tonight. Then. As Mehdi currently fastest at the moment. So let's, of course, talking about politics and all that kind of stuff, is Hussein, who I was pronouncing wrong last time I was commentating. I apologise profusely. Of course, Hussein Fahad then, unfortunately leaving the session. Flippy's gone fast this morning. There is a lot of hullabaloo, wasn't there, around the paddock after last week there. Of course, a lot of arguing going on, a lot of fisticuffs there as Flippy is fast running. Of course, as Villiers said, of course, crashed coming into the pit lane. It looked like he did press start for the AI to take control of the car before he was retiring, coming into the pit lane. A lot of drivers, goodness me. I don't know who Breezy is. I don't even know how he's friends with me. This Kieran said coming up to Stavelone. No, actually, that's Sweet Crown. I can't. What's the Fanya, isn't it? That chicane is there. Goodness gracious me, Sean. Come on, get with the program, my good sir. So Flippy and Mehdi that again very fisticuff, getting a bit rivalry and a bit tense in the old championship battle, which I'll show you on the formation lap, which I love personally. Of course, we haven't had this kind of tension since the season 7 or 8, no, season 8 World Championship between Boxtel and Percy. Sweet Crown is in Percy's car. He goes 8th fastest at this moment in time. Of course, there's a lot of to and fro about if Villiers said, of course, he was friends with Flippy, which I didn't know, to be honest, which I probably should have put 2 and 2 together, but I got to say, I struggle with a lot of things, which is why I'm the opposite of Sherlock Holmes, to be honest. Kieran currently 12 at the moment, but yeah, so I think that has hopefully been put to bed and all that kind of stuff. But Villiers is not here tonight. Hopefully Villiers is not here because he feels like he can't race at his full potential because of all the hullabaloo going on. But at the same time, of course, we do not want to race fix neither. We do not want any Flavio Briatore kind of shenanigans going on. Is a bunt start here, their qualifying lap now into last fourth. Yes, over 7 kilometres. Thank goodness for that. Evening Ginger says, Sarah's Russian there. Get a cheesecake in the commentary box, gentlemen. Yes, I do love a cheesecake. I must admit, though, I am trying to lose a bit of timber. Maybe I should be a lumberjack then, shouldn't I? Really? Of course, a lumberjack around here would be perfect, wouldn't it? I haven't said that. Then we do not want to be cutting trees down, do we? Good gracious me, Sean! You're meant to be from the forest, or but you shouldn't be doing that kind of stuff, especially if that happened to me. Someone be cutting down my home as I live in a tree outside. I'm like George of the Jungle, if only I had that physique of Brendan Fraser. So there we go. There's a bunt coming out of the corner and no name. Albeit, I think it's the Jackie Ixon corner now, isn't it, these days? Which I prefer the corner and no name. And now into Puyong, not Puyo, which I keep saying over the years. That is the legendary Spanish captain, and of course, in the old world of football. And of course, I think he was Barcelona captain as well, wasn't he? As Real Aston has retracted his message. Goodness me, I hope that wasn't any profanity. Talking of which, actually, another thing that we need to address, was everyone everyone's in the what's that? Oh, me Link's extra large, because of course I'm an extra large man, has been dispatched. Fantastic. Because I am lazy, and also because I want to save money by buying in bulk. But I've got a Somerset Fresh deodorant coming in the post tomorrow. Fantastic. Buns out at the bus stop, which they butchered, haven't they? I prefer the old bus stop personally. Even the 2005 bus stop version's better than this one. I think it's off camber, it's a bit horrible. Ugh, don't like it either. But then again, I don't like a lot of things, do I? I'm just a ginger that likes to complain. I complain all the time. Here comes Marky out of oh gosh. Blanchimont, my goodness gracious me. Oh, is that Marky into the pit lane? I'm sure Farf crashed coming into the pit lane around here. To be honest, we should make a list of where Farf hasn't crashed coming into the pit lane, haven't we? As Riley going into Rouge and going up through Radion now then. Of course, over the brow of the hill and coming up the Kemble Straight. I'm sure that, we had a crash here as well, didn't we? I'm sure it's Troy that crashed into someone on the straight here, which no, it might have been Granty actually, of course, the double world champion. We the only other double world champion in the field, and I think the only other champion in the field tonight is actually Emerson Hilton, double world champion from season 4 and 5. Of course, that was he's very much like a Lewis Hamilton kind of figure, isn't he? Where I don't think he likes the ground effect here of Formula 1, does he? Unfortunately, does Emerson there? Or maybe he's a Michael Schumacher guy who's who won his titles, left, and then has returned, but unfortunately his second spell in ALR is not as fruitful as his first, of course. Sam, I just rubbed my eyes after seeing Emerson in 13th. The last float in the carnival will be getting a nosebleed that high up. Absolutely. He was down to 14th now then, so I was a little far beyond that. Belgium race and Belgium waffles, my favourite time of the season. I think that this is the best circuit, isn't it, on the game per se. I wish you could do classic circuits on the game as well, and even classic layouts, because I would certainly be picking the 98 layout of this. Goodness me, we've only got 6 minutes to go. I need to commentate on commentary instead of talking about the circuit. Good heavens above. Here's Pease. Now, driving a Dre last week, and I think that Pease has actually hit the milestone of his 10th driver, as Emerson's back at the 13th. Good heavens. He might have to be done for doping if he ain't careful. Coming out of Paul Frere, or is that Stavilo? I do not know. I need to get my track map up, but unfortunately I'm too scared to touch my laptop at the moment because I've got a Windows update sat lurking in the corner. And as an IT professional like myself, I am going to be disgusted that I haven't done that before, but having said that, I've only just finished me ham and cheese sandwich. Pease into the bus stop chicane as well. Nosey is still in the pits there. I'm wondering if as Julian has gone fast and the first driver into the 40.9. Pease out of the final turn. Only 16th for Pease. Ayrton has unfortunately cut the chicane somewhere, which is shocking stuff indeed. We cannot have any of that. And Medi has gone pole position. Of course, Medi has got that pole position the most this season into last source. And good stuff indeed. What about Flippy? Coming out of Blanchimont into the bus stop there, which is not a bus stop anymore. The championship leader out of the final turn, up to the line, and then Flippy goes third fastest. What about the McLaren Mercedes in the background? Who's that? That's the Beast, and the Beast is currently 7th position. And on row 4 at the moment. Who's that in the background? I didn't see who that was. I think that was Riley, was it? No, I'm basically just making up as I go along, aren't I? Legends has gone 17th position at the moment. Hassan Fahad is back out on circuit as well. Julian Schlapp. Schlop. Oh, no, Schlop is something else. Goodness gracious me. So, Medi currently on pole position at the moment. And let me get me... I got a warning message. What's that? Let's ignore that for now. Medi, of course, has been on pole position then this season 3 times. He hasn't been the most, though, because that is Villiers who's on pole initially. Villiers had 3 pole positions in a row in Emilia-Romagna, Canada, and Austria. Very good stuff indeed then. And then, of course, talking of pole position, the other Alpine driver in the bronze championship there has had, I think that, hang on, let me have a look, because I think that Tom Huffy has now got 5 pole positions there, and it's got 5 pole positions in a row, start off in Bahrain, right up until Silverstone. As go on, beast, then says Serious Mush then. Of course, so as Gravic going up to fourth position. Then I know that a lot of drivers in bronze have not been too keen about Tom Huffy driving in bronze. Having said that, as a caveat, the head honcho of bronze, Smithy Almighty, I'm going to blame him because that's what I do. But the head honcho, Smithy Almighty, of course, had a chat with the other stewards there, and of course, and the reason why Huffy was put to bronze was the only results that was notable from Huffy from last season was 12th position in the gold race. I can't remember which gold race it was then, but it's towards the back end of last season. And then in the event league, Huffy's best result was 8th position. So that is why Huffy is in bronze. Then but I think that Huffy might have just been practicing to get so quick. Then you never know. But then again, if I practice the same amount as Huffy, I don't think I'll be going as fast as him. Maybe the man's just got natural talent then potentially. But I know that a lot of drivers there are probably a bit fed up of seeing Huffy get pole position now in bronze. But that was the reasoning behind the stewards, and I'm sticking with that. And now I have lost my pen. That's not good. Why have I got a pen when I got a laptop? I do not know, but I just want to feel smart. Where are we? Yeah, but Huffy is a gold driver, says Serious Mushroom. But when we put him in, he was not a gold driver. He was a bronze driver because that was the results we looked at from last season. I am dying on my hill, I tell you. I have defended Smithy Almighty till the bitter end. That's my way of going anyway. Immortal can't race because the war's going on, says Stars. Absolutely, that's such a shame for Immortal. I mentioned earlier on that we've only got 2 more minutes to go. I mentioned earlier on that sorry, I was giggling at something else. Evening, Sean. Hello, all racers, and good luck there. Thank you very much, Camera Racer, with €10 in my piggy bank as well. But yeah, so that's the reason behind Huffy going into bronze anyway, because we looked at last season's results and went from there. So whether Huffy has turned the page or not, I do not know. Farhad goes 19th position still. Here comes Ayrton, half a second up in the second intermediate split time, or the first split time. But there we go then. Immortal can't race because of the wall, says Stars. Absolutely, such a shame there for Immortal. But more importantly, we have heard that he is safe and well, and all our Iranian friends are safe and well, and that's the most important part. And all our friends there, all affected by the goings on, then is all safe and well. That's the most important thing. The next most important thing is getting internet back, because I'm sure they're all going to be quite bored. Ayrton now going for a Blanchimont. Of course, it's not the famous Ayrton setup, but it's the second most famous Ayrton I know, and it is Ayrton Hilton then. I'm not allowed to say his full name. I'm in trouble now. That's probably GDPR on my case now. Out the final turn in where Emerson Ayrton's out the final turn in, and Ayrton stays in 18th position there. And for the Ferrari then, as it looks like Farhad there just crawling back then. Kieran's at 2/10 of a second up. Riley's 2/10 of a second up as well. Emerson flying past. You're almost taking my moustache off. Marquis coming down into, oh gosh, I've forgotten that corner name. You got to have to help me, ladies and gentlemen. Sweet coming at the top of the hill to Lake Com. The other Sweet is also flying past as well. The one faster, the Beast, followed by Bunt up in the 6th position. Fantastic. Bravitt starting this up. Flippy out on circuit, and Julian out on circuit as well. Medi's already had enough. He is in, and he's probably enjoying a cup of tea in the garage. And checker flag has fallen. Knowlesy has probably gone to sleep in the garage there, so he is not going to be able to continue on with his lap, unfortunately. I think the Racing Bull team are going to be very unhappy. I think Knowlesy is going to be very unhappy with the Racing Bull team. On board now with Kieran coming into Blanchimont as well. No slipstream, unfortunately, for Kieran. So Kieran's going to have to do this all on his lonesome there. Of course, unfortunately for Kieran, he hasn't scored many points then. I think his best result so far is China earlier on this season, but he has scored points in most of the races there. Across the line, and it goes 7 fastest for the McLaren Mercedes driver. That's a mega lap from Kieran. So Marquis goes into 11th position as well. Yes, Kieran has scored in most most of the race then, apart from the first race, the Canadian Grand Prix, and pole position there for Julian, and it's a 40.7, an incredible lap for Julian, aiming to become a two-time Grand Prix winner. Who am I looking for? As Sweet is in 8th position, the kick Sauber on board with Van Von, then of course clumping those bus stop curbs out the final turn. Third fastest for the Haas driver, mega fantastic. Sweet stays 11th position. What about Flippy, the championship leader? Bravitt is also coming through Blanchimont as well. No one is making big strides there. Ultimate Beast is still 10th position. Flippy's on the front row of the grid, but can't do anything more than that. Nameless is up into 11th position. Beast stays 10th position then. Here comes Bravitt across the line. Bravitt goes 4th fastest. What about the Willie in the background? And Legends goes into 14th position there. And Pease, where's he gone? He's up into 16th position there. Julian, pole position, number 1 of the season. S Club 7 will be singing into their microphones. That's the number 1 there for Julian. Fantastic 17. Number 3 of his career for Julian. And what a way to start off the Belgium Grand Prix for Julian. And that is superb stuff indeed. Right, let me get my spreadsheet up to date because I'm going to forget doing that. And by the way, I don't think there's a special day today, but I've got Countdown of the Oscars at the bottom of my laptop for some unknown reason. Is it the Oscars tonight? I know the Brits was last night. Was they the night before? I do not know, to be fair. It's not really something that interests me, to be fair. There we go. Right, where am I? I'll have him. Serious Mushroom challenging me to a duel, is he? And to be honest, I must admit, I couldn't fight my way out of a paper bag. Pole position number 3 for Julian, with Flippy alongside on row 1. Medi in 3rd position, the top 3 covered by Lesser 10th for a second, with Bravitt 4th, Van Von 5th, Bunsen a superb stint. With Savasta and Kieran 7th and 8th, Sweet and Ultimate Beast completes the top 10. 11th position is Nameless, with Sweet in 12th position. That's Crown, Marquis and Legends 13th and 14th, Everson Pease 15th and 16th, 2 P's on the pod, Riley and Ayrton, followed by Fahad and Knowlesy, still having a kip in the garage there. Right, I've lost what I'm meant to be doing. What am I meant to be doing? Oh yes, I got to get me old standards up, haven't I? So here are the standings at this moment in time. The drivers are in the garage at the moment. So Flippy leads the championship by 20 points. Thank goodness gracious me. It's still not a wins advantage, though. So Medi could win today if Flippy does not score, and he'll be leading the championship. Bravitt in 3rd position, 53 points away from Flippy at the moment. In 4th position is Villias, not here tonight, unfortunately. Julian, who's got pole position, is on 57 points. 56 for Immortal, 41 for Sweet, for Peas on 29, 26 for Nameless, 24 for Mayran, Equals on 23, 19 for Percy, 19 for Kieran, 18 for Van Von, Legend on 9, 6 for Marquis, Savasta also on 6, 4 for Delano, Chaz on 2, and Emerson currently on a big fat 0. In the Constructors' Championship, did I make that obvious? In the Constructors' Championship, oh gosh, I got the giggles. In the Constructors' Championship, Aston Martin leads the way, 18 points in front of Kick Sauber. The gap is 148 points. The Kick Sauber is 130. Alpine are 2 points back at the moment there, but once again, Alpine are showing some pretty solid pace here tonight then. 4th position is the Racing Bull team. Sorry, it's the Red Bull team on 82 points. 74 for Ferrari. Mercedes on 49. 47 for Haas. 42 for McLaren. Is nip and tuck between those 3 constructors. 24 for Racing Bulls and 12 for the Williams team there. The drivers are on the formation lap as well. We'll go through the joint constructors if there's a safety car or if I can be bothered. Where am I? Nolte has the mushroom disease then. He certainly does then. Stuck in the pit lane is at Nolte then. I think that should be a license point. Where's Far? I know Farflight's giving himself out. We see how we're keeping you safe, says my internet security. Block. Right, where am I? Let's go, says Richard then. Knowlesy's moved to gold, says Styles. Maybe. Last to first, Equals saying and Beast just playing with them. Peas into the bus stop, Mushroom into the bus stop. Too many foods going into the bus stop this week. I do love a bus stop though. I wish there was food at my bus stop. I'll be 21 with those laps, says Equal said. Mushy Peas. Sean has been waiting to say a big fat 0 for Emerson. I even made sure that I even made it, I even emphasised it as well, didn't I? I've seen someone on the leader. I've seen someone on the leaderboards. Mushy Peas says Equal. Said it's not me. To be honest, though, Mushroom has got a lot of different accounts. He's got Breezy, he's got Serious Mushroom. Now, I'm sure I just seen a Mushy that entered in the Discord a couple of weeks ago as well, but I'm not sure who that is. Goodness me. So, Julian, pole position number 3 of his career. Flippy's gone hard tyres, along with Buns, along with Sweet Crown, Marquee Legends, Emerson. Peas has been left in the grid. I don't think Peas likes formation laps, does he? Or installation laps, or whatever they want to call it. And then we got Riley, Ayrton, Hussein, Fahad, and Knowlesy. You know what I want to see on this game? I want to see installation laps, where you drive out of the pit lane, go to the grid, and then you park on the grid before the formation lap. And then if it rains, you can test what tyres you could have on. No one would do that feature. I wouldn't do that feature either, but it'd be quite nice to have that feature, wouldn't it? Oh, Julian, Flippy, and Medi have all overshot their pit lane there, unfortunately. Mushroom into silver next season. In the boat, I think Mushroom is currently a few points away at the moment, because it's the top 3 that gets promoted, albeit I don't think that's always the case, is it? But there you go. That McLaren has done a Giancarlo Fisichella in terms of parking. That is appalling stuff. That should be a parking ticket. 5 lights are on. Let's get going here at the Spa Factor circuit. And it's go, go, go. It's a short run down into Las Horse. But after that, it's anyone's ball game. And once again, we've got ghosting going on. I wish the EA would sort that out. Out of the final turn. Oh, what? We hadn't even hit the final turn there. But Bravin's up into 4th, second position. Magnificent. Flippy is going side by side. Wow. And Bravin has come out on top then, just about there, and there's a racing ball. No, it's a red ball that's been forced off the road as we come up to the top of Lake Com, as it is Julian still the leader. There's slipstreaming beyond, no DOS yet then, as on the outside is the House of Fun, but he's lost out then, and Medi's also dropping down the order as well. Julian Brabbit followed by Flippy, followed by followed by who? Medi, followed by Savasta. At the inside there goes one of the Red Bulls there. I think that's Bunce who's up the order as well. Peas up into 12 position. He's up 4 position already. Magnificent stuff. At the Beast has dropped down a couple of positions with the Lewis Hamilton inspired crash helmet. I absolutely love it. Head over heels. Back in the front then. Julian, followed by Brabbit, followed by Flippy, followed by Van Von. Then we got Medi, followed by Savasta. Bunce in 7th position. Kieran in 8th. Sweet in 9th. And Nameless completes the top 10. The top 10 score points in the ALR World Championship. Plus the fastest lap. Oh my goodness gracious me. Nameless trying to force the issue out of Paul Frere, and he's having another sniff as well coming out of Stavino, or is it the other way round? I do not know. I know that there are corners around there somewhere though, because I think that one of those corners is named after a little village. And here comes Sweet then, as a Beast is having a sniff there, and here comes the Beast and the former silver world champion on the outside, and he is on the outside. Sweet's giving him just a ball of McLaren's car swift, and there's contact. He's going to the side of the other Sweet there, and there's too many Sweets on the circuit, goodness gracious me. And the Beast there, as the other sweetest ghosted Beast is on the outside of a Peas. He's got up the inside track position there for the Haas car. Look on the inside though, there's more Sweet going on. And Sweet down into a 13th position. My goodness me, my goodness me. Then Conoto Rouge once again then. And Sweet has now got ledges all over the back of him there. Goodness gracious me, there's cars all over the shop. Flippy's lost out. Flippy's lost out then as I'm watching this wheel to wheel then on the hard shot Williams and Kick Sauber at the outside. Mega stuff indeed. Sweet's been punched on the inside. Legends is through. They're going to make contact. They have made contact, but Sweet is still on the inside. Mega racing by both of them. How fantastic indeed then. But how on earth in a month of Sundays is both those cars are still on the circuit is absolutely outstanding racecraft there. Market. Oh, is Riley almost doing a stroll there, but on the outside, or was it the inside? I do not know. I know that Passamanodo also spun there as well. Was it Latifi? Emerson now all over the gearbox of Riley. Ayrton, of course, the 2 Schumacher brothers, or the 2 Hilton brothers, 17 and 18th position at the moment. With Fahad in 19th, but Knowlesy in 20th position. Back at the front, Julian leads. Second position is Brabbit. Then look at the top 2. They're just stonking away. With Van Von in third position. Flippy is down to 4th, but he's still in front of his championship championship rival Medi at the moment, who's in fifth. Sebastian in sixth position, as Emerson's having trouble, said Emerson's had a nightmare run out of Stavilo. Bunce in seventh, Kieran eighth, Nameless is ninth position, and Sweet Crown is in 10th position. Lap 3 of this enthralling Grand Prix. A solid start there from Richard. Hello there from Chaz. Good evening to you, Chaz. Great to see you in the comment section as well. Sweet for my sweet then. Legendary. Come on, says Equals. And now we've also got, why aren't you driving, Equals? There's a Katie there. Biting his fingernails there. I'm not sure if he's biting his fingernails at Equals. Whoa! What an absolute, that was a rocket ship from, but the Renault power car frame that or save that piece of commentary, because you're not going to hear that too often. Kieran having his 7th position as well. Not the fact that Medi's flown past Flippy, but the fact that that Renault has actually been described as a rocket ship, because that is very unusual indeed in this Formula 1 hybrid era. I'm not sure if KD is biting his fingernails about Styles' question or about what's going on track then, but I must admit I think I'm more nervous about Styles' question. Good heavens above there. So Julian leads it, but Brabbit there looking very strong at the road. Of course, Brabbit missed a couple of races as Brabbit has got a new job, hasn't he there? Shocking stuff indeed, of course. I would have definitely have gone with ALR instead of the new job, but there we go. I joke, of course, I joke. Goodness me. Half a second and a half back is Van Von there. We've noticed that in race trip, Van Von is never as quick, and I'm not sure if that's down to the car, down to the tyres, or is it just down to Van Von there, who's very much, might be a Jarno Trulli-esque driver there in terms of very quick on one lap pace, but in race trip does struggle to keep up the pace lap after lap after lap. But the beauty about that is there, of course, that you cannot make a driver fast, but you can make a driver consistent. Medi there in full finish there, and Medi is now trying to make strides there, because you see the top two is now just waltzing off into the distance here, going down into Eau Rouge once again, and all flipping past me once again. As goodness gracious me, Mushroom, my goodness me. Oh dear. Of course, that was Serious Mushroom's reason for missing a race, which I don't think is a very good reason at all. Shocking stuff indeed. And of course, my reason there for pitting and quitting in the Spanish Grand Prix is because I had a sniffle, which is more than a sniffle. I had real bad man flu. Knowles has got past Ayrton there, as Ayrton is struggling for straight line speed at the moment in that Ferrari. As unfortunately, I haven't got that turbo Ferrari, the hyper Ferrari back in 2019, was it, where they had that ridiculously quick engine? Only excuse, says Serious Mushroom. So back at the front then, tyres, Sean. Goodness gracious me! Yes, I haven't even changed the board then. Oh gosh, weird word. Charles, I think I reckon we should get Farfin, and Far should be the director, shouldn't he? Really, goodness me. As I don't know what Farf does on Mondays. He's always very quiet in the Discord. He comes alive on Tuesdays, normally, and Thursdays. Right, as we got Julian, who's trying to get out of DRS now. We're going to keep an eye on what Flippy does, because Flippy is starting to gain on his championship rival, as Medi is also in turn gaining on Van Von. We're just over half distance in this World Championship. This is round 9 out of 17 now. Back to the good old days then. As no response, says Styles then. It's tires, you. Goodness me. Actually, I spell it T-Y-R-E-S. Is that not the way to spell it? Oh gosh, I'm in major trouble now, aren't I? Oh dear, oh dear. And then again, spelling is not my forte. What is your forte? I hear us. I don't actually know, to be honest. I'm very good at eating. I was very good at designing technology food. Not actually cooking it, but eating it, I was absolutely second to none. I should have been the taste test, to be honest. But then again, if I had to taste any fruit salad, that is a no-no. I'm allergic to fruit. On the outside goes Medi, and through and up into Les Combes. Of course, it's Van Von was sliding now. Just going to go to see what Beast is up to. Well, Beast is now up into a 9th position there in the McLaren Mercedes. Our next target is the hard shot Bunce then, but I think the Bunce is quite a distance in front at the moment. On board with Flippy once again into the corner with no name, and that Haas in front of us is starting to harvest. The DRS is quite overpowered at the Camel Straight up into Lake Com then. Of course, it's the last season we're going to be having DRS up there before we have the attack zones, attack mode. I do not know what it is then. It used to be called MOM, but I think it's called something else now. Overtake mode or something like that, which I am looking forward to. Australia this weekend. Woohoo! Apart from that problem is that, though, that I have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I will not be watching the build-up show because I am old and all that kind of stuff. Spell it that way as well, just messing. Oh, thank goodness for that. It was at a harsh. I had a real bad feeling there because I thought that I thought you were being serious there because I have actually been spelling tyres T-Y-R-E-S. Sorry, goodness me. I had a bottle of Coke before, Coca-Cola before coming on there, and it's starting to repeat on me. Goodness gracious me. I spell it tires if it's motorsport outside the US, says KD there. You're trying to get into silver, then bronze with Neil Point, says Equals there. So doing a far away Equals, good stuff indeed. However, Equals have a brilliant second position in the Canadian Grand Prix a few weeks ago. So we're just looking at Flippy, who is now catching Van Von, even with DRS there for the Haas car. Flippy is alongside, Flippy is through and up into 4th position. Van Von is struggling, as we've seen this before. Remember, I forgot about this, but Flippy is on the hard tyres, whilst Van Von and the rest of the drivers around Flippy is on the medium tyres. Keep an eye on that one, because that could be a make or break in the outcome of this Grand Prix. We're on lap 6 of this race, we're about a quarter of the way through, give or take. But once again, Van Von is struggling up there, isn't he? Unfortunately, a bunch is now coming up to the back of Savasta in the second Aston Martin there. Now, I've had early starts at work the last couple of weeks. Just need a rest because these races are so sweaty, says Equals. Oh, I absolutely agree with you, Equals. These races are very sweaty for me. I'm not even participating. I'm not even an athlete. To be fair, I don't even know why I'm sweating. I'm probably sweating because I'm just talking, and that really shouldn't be making me sweat then. But of course, I sweat just going to the fridge and back. But that is my certainly is my athletic. My sporty part of the day. I can't remember what it is. Exercise part of the day. Goodness me, Sean, sort yourself out. Oh dear. I hope they don't have a fan zone vote thingy, or I will never get a boost, says Serious Mushroom. Yes, Trollus Mushroom, you probably will get a boost, because I'm sure you got the most highest driver of the day votes, I think. Of course, P's hit a milestone of 10 driver of the day votes last week. Fantastic stuff indeed there for P's. I haven't actually had a look at any other stats, to be honest, which I probably should have before coming on there, but I was feeding my face then. As Bunce is hard tires and now starting to come on song here. Up into the as Bunce is through past Savasta. Look in front. Flippy has passed his championship rival. Back into the podium places is Flippy. Was he in the podium places before? I do not know. Kieran's got past both of them. Gracious me. And I might have missed the overtake of the season. Or have I not missed overtake of the season? I'm actually just making it up. Was Kieran always there? I think he was. Oh gosh. Right, where was I? Nice and win the championship in bronze and silver, says Stars. I don't think any driver has won bronze and silver. Some drivers have won silver and gold. German's won silver and gold. Someone else, Flippy, could potentially win silver and gold as well, as can Brabbit as well. I'm sure another driver won silver and gold as well. Delano has won bronze, but I don't think any driver has gone from bronze to silver and won a championship from there. I do not think. I'll have to fact check myself there, but I'm sure that that's a stat which very much lives in my brain somewhere. Back to it next week, says Aircross. That's great to hear, my good sir. Of course, McLaren at the moment have only got one driver represented for the constructors tonight. Reserve drivers are not eligible for constructors points. Main reason being is because in bronze back in season 8 or season 7 or season 9, one of those seasons, Ferrari won the constructors, albeit their second driver was basically not here for the whole of the season. As into the pits comes Nameless then, whilst Bunt is on the outside, passes Kieran, and those hard tyres are doing a good job. However, Kieran may have played a shrewd manoeuvre here, because he's now going to DRS up the Kemmel Straight. Flippy is under the cosh from Medi as well. Let's take a look. I don't know where to look, so let's look at both of them. First, that is the Alpine driver all over the gearbox of Flippy, and the DRS so powerful, he is through before you even get into the braking zone of Lake Calm. And now here comes Kieran getting back past Bunce. Bunce breaks so much later and keeps his position as Kieran is trying to go up and under, but Bunce is having none of it whatsoever. Peace is having to... Oh, as Bunce trying to defend her, Kieran almost loses the car, almost spinning it. Goodness gracious me. A lot of manoeuvres there. A lot of manoeuvres there from both drivers. Goodness gracious me. All 20 cars are still running in this race. Oh, my word. As I'm flicking it down into Puyong as well. I'm winning at least one thing. Equals Troy. No, Troy never won bronze, and he super subbed in for bronze, but was never a bronze driver. He went directly into silver. Oh yes, Troy won silver and gold. I apologise. He was the second driver. Well, was he the first? No, I think he was the second driver to win silver and gold. I apologise. Nude Potato. Nude Potato has won bronze, but I don't think he has won silver. He's never completed a season in silver, unfortunately. Who holds the most fast laps in ALR? Oh, goodness me, Ashton. You're going to have to... You're really punishing me tonight. It's that rain clouds I see up there. As you can tell, I have changed the subject because I do not know. I'll have a look. I would have a look tonight then, because after this race, I'm going to bed. But spam me on Discord. You got to spam me on Discord, because I got to say, I'm very rubbish at answering on Discord at the moment. There's a lot of drivers attest to, but you know, I'm not a social animal, to be honest. When I rock up and then I sofa rot for most of it, mainly because I'm trying to catch up on Drive to Survive. I'm finally finished season 7 or 8. The 2024 season, so now I'm finally on to 2025, which of course was only released last weekend. I'm going to watch it, even though if sometimes it's not worth watching. But the ones I do enjoy, I like the ones like where he's focusing on Alpine, where he was focused on Haas in the 2024 season. I really enjoyed that one, where it was like where they was talking about trying to get drivers and all that kind of stuff, and of course with Ocon going to Haas there, and all that hullabaloo behind the scenes. I really enjoyed that. Fahad is up into 16th position, getting past Emerson, I should say. Goodness me, I'm comparing him to the famous Australian footballer Brett Emerton from Blackburn, I think it was Neil, something like that. Sweet crown all over the gearbox of Beast, and Beast's medium tyres are starting to fall off a cliff ever so much. So Troy is the goat then. Spam him on Discord, he'll answer in 6 weeks. 6, make it 8. It'd be 6 to 8 business weeks. Thank goodness me. It's like when you get a parcel with Every, you've got to wait a very long time, probably about half a year before it gets there. As Nameless has got past Ayrton. The only driver to come to the pits is Nameless at the moment. I was mentioning about those big black clouds there. Look at that over yonder. As into the pits comes Brabbit. But I'm wondering then if rain is not afoot, because none of the drivers are coming in at the moment. None of the drivers are staying out then. The likes of Nameless, the likes of the McLaren, it's just kind of popped in front of us. Kieran is elected to stay out whilst Beast is coming to the pits. So I feel that the drivers probably doesn't sense that the rain is coming there, but I have a feeling in my twinkle toes that there may be some rain on the horizon. This is Spa, after all. This is the Ardennes Forest. We've had so many rain-affected races over the years here. 98 especially, one of my favourite races of all time. Whether I enjoy it today will not remains to be seen, though, because some of it was quite scary. Giancarlo Fisichella crashed on was into the back of Shinji Nakano at the bus stop. That was quite a scary incident. And here comes Peace, who's going to be feeling a bit concerned about Markey as we go to the top of Lake Calm. So hard shot Flippy is now 2 seconds in front of Medi, and of course this is where the hard tyres now becomes the preferred race tyre, apparently the preferred race tyre anyway. So let's see how this one transpires, and this one in just a jiffy. Who am I looking at now? I don't know, to be honest. I think I'm looking at Legends. Nope, Sweet and Riley, followed by Brabbit as well. And Brabbit is the highest runner who has come into the pit lane. Emerson Hilston, mediums pit this lap then, says Mark Smithbed. I missed that, yes. Brabbit was certainly in anyway. As Brabbit is, look at that, Brabbit is warming up its tyres here. Of course, Belgium at this time of year is not the hottest. I don't think Belgium has ever been described as hot. Unless, was it 1984 where they had to abandon the race because it was so hot the track was breaking up, which was very unusual. That you always you always think of Spa and you think of wet races there, so you don't really think of extreme heat, do you? I'm sure it was 84. I'm sure Martin Brundle mentioned it. As Medi is up to second position, Flippy takes lead. We've got more pit stops and half distance in this Grand Prix as well. It looks like it's a straightforward one stop, but it's not as straightforward as what I probably thought it was going to be. Bro, your knowledge in the sport is second to none, says Ruthless Venom. I wish it was, guys. To be fair, if you ask me a question about like 2017, 18, 19, 20 and all them kind of lot, or them kind of years, I would struggle, but I think it's because I've got old and I can't remember. Is that rain? That's rain! I think it's rain on the cockpit of the McLaren, the Mercedes there. And here comes Sweet then. I thought it looked overcast. Is this going to really throw the drivers a curveball? As Julian has lost temper, he has just come in the pits. I apologise for screaming in your lug holes, everyone. Goodness gracious me, so we have got rain afoot. And I think that maybe Brabbit has, and all the drivers. Look at that teamwork. That is splendid stuff indeed. Brabbit's 10th position. But however, for Brabbit, he's going to be looking up into the sky and he's going to be seeing raindrops keep falling on his head there. I'm sure that's a song. Julian is in 10th position, 9th position as well, as coming down into Puyol as well. Sean does not even bother. Sean does not even bother watching the races. No, I don't. I'm gonna be honest. I'm just talking absolute boulder dash for most of it. I'm not even commentating half the time. I'm just talking absolute waffle. Brabbit is Medi has lost out to Bunce, and there is Anthony's point been absolutely been punctuated and with an exclamation mark on it because I wasn't watching it. Bunce now to second position. So Flippy's in the pit. Flippy's in the pits on the hard tires. That's early. That is very early. And what tires is the race leader going to go on there? We're looking for the green Aston Martin mechanics. There they are. He's into the pits now. It's intermediate for the championship leader. Good gracious me. Is that early? Or we expected a deluge? I think it's too early, you know. My goodness gracious me. Has Flippy thrown this race away? Or is it yellow flag? What's happened? There's some issue. That's a car on the start-finish straight. And who is that? That's Julian. Julian's off. They had issues there on the start-finish straight. What has happened to the former race leader, the pole sitter? And there's a McLaren up the inside. There's also a beast damage to the Mercedes car. Oh my goodness gracious me. What has happened there? Intermediate tyres for Kieran. Intermediate tyres for Flippy as they go for radio fusion into radio. Oh my word. They've made contact at the fastest part of the circuit, but they're still going wheel to wheel. And I'm wondering if there's a bit. Whoa, it's a Julian cuts across. That's a good big old swipe there. He swiped right. Goodness gracious me. Or is it swipe left? I do not know. I don't use Grindr much. Or don't I? It's, Julian is now in 13th position. Down into 14th is Beast there. Intermediate tyres. I think it's too early, you know. Let me go to the comments. It's not rain, it's sweat, says Serious Mushroom there. Troy is the goat then. 14 laps on the medium tyre, says Jinner. Absolutely, I am a sad such and such. Right, yes, sirs, yes, it was a song from Phil Collins, says Camera Racer. Thank you very much, Camera. I'm glad you know your musicians. I certainly don't. Just watching Farhad then, on board with Van Von then. Wow, that was quick. Too early to pit, says Anthony then. Better be slowed down pit twice then, says Jinner. Way too early then. Will overheat then. Flippy ain't losing. Flippy's got this spot on, says Ruthless Venom. Bunce is into the pits now. So, look, Flippy is all over the gearbox of Brabbit. Brabbit is just coming to the pits on fresh hard tyres, whilst Flippy is on the intermediate tyres on lap 13. I think that Flippy might have caught these drivers going to sleep, you know. Have they not didn't check in their weather forecast then? Or have they got the same weather forecast? Sorry, I smashed my microphone there. Or have they got the same weather forecast that Ron Dennis had the Malaysia Grand Prix 2001 there? By the way, one of my favourite races of all time, because Ron Dennis said at the beginning of the race that he doesn't expect any wet races at all. But goodness me, it was a deluge. Julian now in 11th position there. Beast has got past Medi, who's down into 12th. Back at the front then as currently Sweet Crown leads. Mark in second. Peace in third position. Brabbit is the highest runner on fresh hard tyres, but he might be on the wrong tyres here. It is still not wet enough out there. Ayrton has cut a corner. Shame on him. That's surely a couple of penalty points. Brabbit up the inside. No Van Von up the inside. passes the Mercedes driver and passes Riley. Of course, Van Von is on fresh hard tyres, whilst Riley is hanging it out there. So is Sweet as well. Bunce on the intermediate tyres there. I know Sweet is not going to defend this one too much there. As look at that, those are intermediate tyres on the Red Bull racing car. So that to me feels like that the intermediate tyres are the way to go. I think Flippy has got it right then. Athlete sweat, says Richard. It certainly isn't from me, goodness me. Imagining Sean being a commentator in an actual F1 race, it'd be quite boring to be honest, because I don't think a lot will be going on. As goodness gracious me, looks like a masterclass of strategy call. Flippy is about to fly, so it looks like that the general consensus is that intermediate tyres are the way to go. Shows how much I know. Goodness me, I think I've commentated on about 14 seasons of ALR, and I've never got this right. Goodness me. But Bunce is through. Marky's in the pits, and I'm expecting intermediate tyres on that Alpine machine. Then is Riley going to dive in? Yes, he is there. So what is this going to do in terms of the actual race order? I must say that this has completely thrown a curveball. Not many drivers are on intermediate tyres at the moment. A few drivers have gone. Oh, look at that! It's getting very damp into last source there. Bunch struggled to slow the car down. Flippy is on the ascendancy now, but we got look, there's spots on the floor, and that surely is an indication that intermediate tyres are the way to go. There is no spray coming off the back of these Formula One cars at the moment. Remember these these ground effect up the inside. Pease, and Brabham scantered off of Lake Com. He's off the circuit. There's no gravel there these days. Oh, and he's blocked in Pease. Pease is not going to be too impressed with that, but he lets him through, and Pease is down into third. Well, he's back into third position actually. Brabham dropping down 2 positions there. Luckily for Brabham, there's no gravel there anymore, so it's just a runoff, and you can see off the racing line that the rain drops a splosh in there. Flippy is now in the second position for Flippy. This is a big win today for Flippy if he can manage the next 8 laps in these very tricky conditions there here in Belgium. Of course, if he wins today, he will be over a Grand Prix win in front of his nearest challenger of Mehdi. Mehdi is currently down in 10th position, pitted for fresh hard tyres, but that is the wrong way to go unless this is just a light rain shower. If it is a light rain shower, then Mehdi will be hoping that the rain stops now. Bunce is through, passes Legends, who's 7-6. Great drive from Legends there. Aha, fighting man, says Equal, said it certainly has been. It's been an absolute scrap, hasn't it, out there? As Legends in 6th position. Great drive from Legends, by the way. Hats off. Currently my drive of the day, if at half distance there. Hopefully I haven't put the commentator's curse on him. What's happened? Something's gone wrong, and someone's had an issue there coming into. Is it the Ferrari? And there's a yellow flag. Is that Williams? I don't know, to be honest, basically. I should just have said I didn't know. So we've got a lot of pit stoppers in. Brabham is staying out on those hard tyres. I'm wondering if Brabham feels that this is just a light rain shower. This has been a lighter rain shower now for the past couple of minutes, and it hasn't got any heavier. As you can see, this part of the circuit here, it's not got any wetter than it was last time around then, and that was 7 kilometers ago. Here comes Bunce now, and Bunce has got DR. No, is that DRS not been disabled? Has DRS been disabled? Where have I been? As Bunce having a look there, but no dice. But look, there's sun. Look, there's sun now. Medium tyres for Pease. Good gracious me. So, now this is getting very interesting. So, Pease doesn't believe that the rain is going to get heavier. Pease reckons that this is a short, sharp summer rain shower where it would come and go. And, of course, it can happen here in Spa. We had very light rain in the 2008 Grand Prix, didn't it? Where it rained at the start, and then for most of the race it was dry up until the last couple of laps or so, where it was absolute anarchy. Was it Nick Heidfeld or Alonso that went on the intermediate tyres? Look right! Righty! Oh, contact out of the corner and no name, and through and them to Tempest. They go. Well, to me that track does look wetter. Actually, I don't think the medium tyres. Marquis lost out. There's Debris. Debris come off of one of the Ferraris, I think. Who was that? I think. Well, it has to be Sweet if it's red. It is Debris off of the Ferrari. A Sweet, unfortunately, that is damaged. And in these rain affected conditions, I don't think that's going to be as painful if it is in the dry. Of course, the speeds are much more reduced when the track is damp, of course. How long can the intermediate tyres go then? I'm sure they could probably do just over half distance, I would say, figure the air kind of guess. He can go to the end. Peace to the Vettel at Turkey, says KD. Flippy, you create a massive gap then, says Anthony. The gap is 6 seconds at the moment. Bravitt's had enough. He's in the pits for Bravitt, and unfortunately the rain has come at the worst stage of this one. And look who's up in the third. It's Kieran. He's never had a podium before in gold. Remember, Kieran's had a lot of winnage in the event league, and of course, and it's never had anything. It's never had a podium in gold then. So this will be a superb performance for Kieran, and it'll be a lovely shot in the arm for the McLaren Mercedes. I'm allowed to say that these days, I don't know. Van Von there scampering off the circuit. He may have got a warning for that, as Nameless is now dropping down into 12th position. Nameless there is losing time hand over fist. So the top 10 is completely changed on its head in this one. A lot of drivers have really been caught a bit under the wire by this rain shower. Peas and Nameless are still on the dry tyres. Everyone else now on the intermediate tyres. Flippy leads by 7 seconds from Bunsen second. Kieran up to third with Sweet Crown with damage in 4th position. Marky up into 5th, superb. Van Von in 6th position. Riley in 7th. Riley in 7th, fantastic. Legends up into 8th position. Pease is off the circuit, the dry tyre, the meat. I think the Haas mechanics have got this wrong there. I wonder if Pease asked for intermediate tyres, and the Haas was wanted to stay on the dry tyres and roll the dice there, but Pease is going to be furious with the Haas strategy team there. Farhad is up in the 13th position there. Nameless also dropping like a stone as well, as Everson is up to the incredible heights of 14th position there. Pease is dropping down the orders. What's happened as Nameless dropping up, and we've also got Sweet, who is on the outside into the Fania chicane with Beast now to 11th position just outside the points in the McLaren Mercedes. So we got GG, Bunsey and Kieran's super strategy, says Equals. That is a superb strategy. Both drivers are making huge gains. And I haven't got my other laptop on, so I can't do driving today. Shock which doesn't do. And it's all the way over there. I'm not wireless these days. I should get a mic with big old arm on, shouldn't I, really? But, I got a headset on and I still live in the 1990s. Best years, I'd say. Best years. Beast now all over the back of Sebastian, who's almost out of... Bravitt's done an extra stop, and look at that. Bravitt's still in 9th position. That's how much time that he had in the pocket of the kick Sauber. But I don't think Bravitt's going to care now. He's going to be furious in that car. Rain coming at the wrong time. It's very light rain. It is borderline intermediate tyres. There's no spray coming off of the tyres, and this is very light rain. But it is enough for DRS to be disabled. It is enough for the dry tyres, of course, to be fully slick tyres these days in F1. Maybe the groove tyres might have been able to live one, but in the late 90s and early 2000s. But unfortunately, with slick tyres, absolutely no way. Pedro up to the top of Lake Cotton once again. Peas and turkey, don't get Sean at slobbering then. I'm already slobbering then, goodness me. Good job I'm stood up then, because my table would be wetter than a otter's pocket. Ultimate Beast is in 11th position. I've forgotten what that corner is. It's really annoying me. They will end up in the tyre war like I did, of course. Serious Mushroom, one of the most infamous TikToks that ALR have ever done. ALR hasn't done many TikToks. Of course, Serious Mushroom end up in the wall just over yonder there. The right hand side of Beast as we stand at the moment. So lap 17 of this very interesting, very enthralling Grand Prix here in Belgium then. Thank you very much for joining us tonight on your Monday. I hope you're having a lovely Monday evening, and of course spending your time with me. Goodness gracious me. How bad has your day been if you're tuning in to listen to me waffle on? But in all seriousness, thank you very much for joining us. It's been fantastic. Really good race indeed. Of course, hit that like button and it'll do all that kind of jazz, because it also helps with the anagram and all that kind of stuff. Anagram? No. Algorithm. Anagram's a note, isn't it? Or is it like a memo? Oh, goodness me. Ultimate Beast up the inside into the bus of chicane, locking up the inside tyre. But look at that. Sebastian parking on the inside of the corner there. But Ultimate Beast there with none of it there. He's going to use the Earth deployment on that McLaren Mercedes and up into 10th position there for Beast. He'll be, you can see that car sliding there. Ultimate Beast also having a look on the mirror there to see where the Aston Martin driver was. Julian has got past Emerson there, but Emerson's going to go back up the inside there. Emerson, the double world champion, and of course, still the measuring stick of Grand Prix racing. 33 Grand Prix wins there, of course, still the most wins in a single championship there for Emerson. Of course, he had podiums in 21 out of 22 races in his Season 5 World Championship winning campaign. And of course, 22 pole positions as well for Emerson there, as Nameless is coming into the pits there, as that's a very slow pit stop there for the Red Bull team. I'm not sure if that was a wing change. It possibly might have been a wing change for the Red Bull team, but Nameless now finally on the intermediate tyres there. They're going to be fresh, but I think he's too far back now. He's over a pit stop behind Pease, and Pease is over a pit stop and a half behind the rest of the field then. But everyone is still in the race at the moment with 4 laps to go as we go into the final stages of this Grand Prix. Commentator guy for the win. Thank you very much to Seymour then, as of course I always read out the nice comments about me because that's what I do. Goodness me, shocking stuff, isn't it? I try and read out all your comments there, but sometimes I do struggle, mainly because I struggle to read. Goodness me, I need my 4-year-old nephew here really, because I think he has better reading age than me. Devastating stuff indeed. But luckily, I just know random stuff about F1. That's the only reason why I'm employed. It's because I used to just read F1 books all the time when I was younger. We got yellow flags for one of the Ferraris, and that is Ayrton making a trip into the gravel there, as Ayrton probably going to the beach. Beach, take it away. As in the inside there goes Julian. Farhad is trying to come back at Julian. Julian, of course, was on pole position, but the rain has really hang-strung the Mercedes driver, as Farhad with that beautiful Golf livery Williams car is trying to shape it up. I think it's Emerson who's trying to defend off the man who's second in the Drivers' Championship. It is Mehdi, whilst I've been waffling away. Mehdi's all the way down into 15th position there. Sean, have you swallowed your tongue yet? Not on this. Oh no, I can't even swallow at all. Steady. As we got Mehdi who's... Whoa, look at the overspeed on that Alpine. I gotta say, Mehdi's got some serious straight line speed. No, I haven't swallowed my tongue yet for the first time in a long time, to be honest. But then again, I have got quite a wet mouth, because I actually drank before coming on stream then. So usually I'm dry in the Sahara Desert. Well, my mouth is. Everything else isn't. That goodness me. It's like I've been to the gym after all these ALR commentary malark. I probably need to slow down a bit, don't I? Nameless has now got past Pease. I think that Pease is probably not talking to his Haas mechanics out there, is he? Because Haas decided to put him on dry tyres. The rain has stopped. Has Pease now going to put me in my place here? Pease is over a pit stop behind the rest of the field, but now the rain has stopped, and now this is a curveball. And I reckon that some of the drivers that were staying out was hoping for this rain to stop earlier on. Now the intermediate tyres are going to be very difficult to keep in the operating window, because of course the intermediate tyres needs a damp track. They need to cool the tyres down. The tread blocks are going to be moving too quickly now, as Farhad is lost out to Emerson there. Emerson up into 50th position through Blanchimont here. The tread blocks on the intermediate tyres are now going to be jiggling like I jiggle on a Saturday night. Sweet into the pits now. So he's coming into the pits, rolling the dice, going on to fresh, dry tyres, I presume. Oh my goodness gracious me. Bunce is coming. He's now got the gap under to 4.5 seconds. Thank you very much, sir. Of course, Kiki, have you voted for silver tomorrow night as well? So I think the far past him earlier on. So just coming up to late come for Marky. So keeping on sweet then. Farhad, Knowlesy and Ayrton all into the pits. All coming on dry tyres, I believe, then. So now it's going to be a lottery for fastest lap, as well as potentially getting some points out. This is going to get very interesting indeed. Intermediates burned quickly here then. And is that why is that, Mushroom? Is that because of the high loads on the corners? Because there's so many fast corners around here? Or is it because it's a long lap then? I'll let the drivers in the comments ask that one, because the reason why I'm not a driver is because I get lapped a lot, and also I pit and quit when I'm doing rubbish or when I got a sniffle, because I'm not an athlete. Yeah, I'm working, so I can't race there for Kiki. Absolutely disgraceful behaviour. Who am I going to pick on the stream tomorrow? It'll have to be Farf. Julian there coming out the corner with no name. I know I'm sure Farf loves it, that doesn't he? But he's I think sadly Farf is in the midst of a bit of a difficult time there, isn't he? Because this is his worst. Is it his worst season? I think it's not as worse as last season yet. I think he needs to score. I think he needs to score 10 points by round 12, I think, or something like that. I'll have a look at my scrapbook later on, probably tomorrow actually, because I got to watch a YouTube video later on about the new Resident Evil game, because I'm going to watch a playthrough first to see if it's scary or not. If it's not scary, I'm going to buy it. But having said that, I thought the Resident Evil 7 wasn't scary. I couldn't even get out of the attic. So there we go. And then when the woman started crawling up the stairs, I quit, and I've never played it again since. Right, so that was a waste of 50 quid. Julian is Medi's now in the pits, and with that 21 out of 22, then goodness me, we're on the second to last lap already. It is far too late, I think, for dry tyres now. Then Flippy, the gap is down to 3.1 seconds as Ruthless Venom has just shouted to me at the comment section as well. He's telling me to keep calm, Sean, and focus on the race. Good gracious me. R2B put in Kiki to work, straight up pimping. Is R2B an actual pimp now? I need to ask this, don't I? Goodness me, because he needs to hook me up. Goodness me, this is meant to be a PG show. Goodness gracious me, that's my second reprimand of the event, and this is only my first stream of the week. No, I've only been on air for about 70 minutes, so goodness me, I'm in major problems, and as sweet all over the gearbox. Now, even with damage there, Kieran, I think, has done those 3 laps extra on those intermediate tyres, have really been struggling. Flippy is going to have a almighty scare on the final lap, I think, because look at Bunce. He is absolutely flying out there at the moment. Sweet Crown could potentially be on the podium now. I think he's been on the podium before, and I think Sweet Crown has had a race win as well, of course, when he was Wooter a few seasons ago, back in season number 8, I think it is. Catch him very quick, says Ruthless Venom. He is a pimp. He walks around with a candy cane now, and hopefully with a big purple suit as well. If anyone's watched Norbit, high five you virtually. Best film ever. Coming out of the bus stop chicane and into last source as well. Bunce is now almost a second then. Goodness gracious me. Bunce wants his first Grand Prix win of his career, whilst Kieran wants his first podium of his career. Ayrton has cut the corner again then. I think he's trying to go for fast enough, Ayrton is, but that will not count. As Bunce has not... look, Kieran's already lost out. And I'm wondering if he's got a puncture. Look at that, he's got a puncture. And somehow he's still going quickly up the Camel here, up the Camel straight there. Has he got I think he's got a puncture. On board with Kieran there, and look at the left hand, look at the right hand side tyre. I think that Kieran has got a puncture as that tyre does not look on the rim at all for Kieran, and this is a heartbreak for Kieran. He's got a puncture on the final lap of the Belgian Grand Prix, and McLaren are just going to be absolutely devastated. Gap is down to 1 second there. Flippy might just have enough in the tank there to get the race win and to get his 8th Grand Prix win of his career. I do not know. Kieran is somehow keeping that car pointing in the right direction. Somehow, that's incredible. Out of Stavilo, here comes Flippy now then, and Flippy is coming to launch him up, but look at Bunce. He is almost punching a hole in the air, is Flippy, and Bunce is gaining. He might not have enough. Riley on course for 6th position, and into the bus stop chicane for the 22nd and final time. Says Pete's coming over the line as well. Pete's the only driver not to go on intermediate tyres, and Flippy wins the Belgian Grand Prix, and that is an almighty step into the realms of championship winning credentials. Only on round 9, Sean. Calm it down, son. For Flippy wins the Belgian Grand Prix. Fantastic for Flippy, and I think that's Flippy's 8th win of his career, I think. Then let me get my old book up and let me have a gander. Incredible stuff indeed. I can't find Flippy. Yes, his 8th Grand Prix win of his career for Flippy. Mega stuff indeed. That is his 5th win of his season as well for Flippy, with Bunce in 2nd position, Sweet Crown in 3rd, Van Von, great drive in 4th, Riley, his best result of his career, in gold in 5th, with Markey and Legend 6th and 7th, Kieran, heartbreak for the McLaren driver, on course for his first podium in 8th, Bravitt in 9th, and Ultimate Beast completes the top 10. There's going to be a lot of drivers being a bit hard done by in this one. Medi gets the fastest lap, but I do feel that the rain really hamstrung at Medi on this one, unfortunately. Sean, Liam said he will share his screen. He's finished Resident Evil twice already. Already? Goodness me. How long is Resident Evil? I thought it was like I thought it was like 10 hours long. To be honest, if a game's more than 5 hours long, it's going to take me like 2 years to complete. More importantly, is it any good? Um, if it's good, I won't buy it. I'll just I'll pretend to buy it or something. I don't know. As P's getting having a track limits violation there. As Flippy getting his 8th win of his career. His 5th win of the season for Flippy. This is a major step forward to championship to the championship at the end of the season. We're over half distance now, but this will be round 10 next week in the Hungarian Grand Prix. And what a result it is for Flippy. Told you the intermediates were faster, says Serious Mushroom. Let's take a final look at the classification then. From the Belgian Grand Prix, Flippy wins his 8th win of his career. Fantastic job indeed for Flippy. Strategy second to none. Bunce was closing in. One more lap for Bunce, and he could have been a first-time winner. For Sweet Crown, back on the podium for first time in a very long time. I say that. Was he on the podium earlier on the season? No, he wasn't there. Thank goodness for that. Of course, he got 4th position in the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix, but Sweet Crown back on the podium for the first time in a very long time. Then that's his 5th podium of his career, with Van Von in 4th. 5th is Riley with Markey in 6th. Legends, great driving 7th. Kieran Hart, absolute heartbreak in 8th position. 9th is Bravo. 10th is Beasted. Julian in 11th. Sebastian 12th. Emerson in 13th. He seems to be nailed onto that 13th. Sweet in 14th. Fast up for Medi. A crumb of comfort, but for the man who's second in the championship, that is going to be painful. Farhad in 16th, Nolte 17th, with Ayrton 18th, Nameless in 19th, and Pease completes the rear in 20th position. All 20 cars have completed this absolutely outstanding Belgian Grand Prix. And my goodness gracious me. That was a pretty eventful race to say the least, wasn't it? Right, let me get me sound settings sorted out, and then let me sit back on me poof and enjoy it. It's really good, mate. Then 11 hours first time around, then rushed in, and it's about five game of the year easy. Ooh. I really want to know if I'm really scared to play it as well, actually, because the last Resident Evil game I played properly was Resident Evil 6, I think it was, and that wasn't really scary at all. That was more of an action game, wasn't it, rather than a scary game? But I got a massive man crush on Leon. Anyway, sorry, Flippy, I'm talking about Resident Evil. 12 Grand Prix wins today. That was your 5th win of your season, your 8th of your career. But first thing I want to ask you: did you know the rain was coming? Because that strategy call was second to none.
I mean, I plan on starting on hards anyway, because I think even in a normal race, hards mediums are faster just because of the tire compound jump between C3 and C1 for the mediums and hards. So I mean, starting on hards isn't really because of the rain is gonna come. But I think for my strategy, I think I boxed one lap too early. I think Bunsey had the by far the best strat for the entire grid today. And congrats for the podium for Bunsey. And yeah, just a great race. But I think my quality lap wasn't the best, so it felt like a good lap, but the lap time wasn't there. So we just need to figure out what happened then. Yeah, good race.
That is the mark of a Grand Prix serial winner, isn't it? Goodness gracious me! Already thinking about analysing your qualifying lap and also hitting a lap earlier, even though you've won the race. And it was very tight at the end there. And with the did you feel though that with all the drivers around you on medium tires, you was the only driver in the top 6 or 7 of the Grand Prix? Did you feel so confident in the opening stint, knowing that this rain could have been coming? Did you just feel so confident that you had the strategy very much nailed on?
I mean, it depends on other people's tire work, because I think it's possible on mediums to make it to, I think it was lap 12 or 13 that I boxed went into, something like that. Not sure, but I think it's possible, but it's hard is definitely faster. And I mean, my race start, I wasn't, like at the time, I felt bad about my race start, just because I lost like 3 positions from the start. But I mean, because there's a compound jump, as I said, then it's kind of doomed for me to be kind of bad on the start. and I just kind of stay composed and stuff. And yeah, but yeah, towards the end, like once he was just on my tail and I was just panicking. Like at the end, I was on like 89% highway, because yeah, as I said, like I should have stayed in, like stayed out a bit longer on hard, 1 lap longer, just so I won't be in the puncture ranges for the entire lap. But yeah.
You mentioned about your start, and you was feeling a bit bad about your start on a circuit like this, where I potentially overtake is easy. It looks like it's easy from our point of view, but dropping down the field a few positions at the start, you didn't seem to panic. Is that because you knew that it's quite easy to overtake on the circuit, especially at the top of the run up to Lake Holm?
That's one thing, and another thing is that because the Hearts of C1, well, I'm talking about tires again like a tech nerd, but yeah, the Hearts doesn't really drop off, so I knew like compared to the mediums, I just have to survive kind of like 45 laps, and then the pace would just come back to me and I can overtake. But yeah, and another thing is because like I knew I can somewhat not get dropped by that much at the start because I was running kind of higher front wing than what you would usually run on like a spa setup just to stay within the areas of like the medium status. So yeah, just stay composed and just wait till the tires came to me.
I think it's 2 wins out of 2 here for yourself. Then you mentioned last week how much you enjoy this circuit. Then going on to Hungary next week. Then so it's a bit more technical, twisty. It's a completely different challenge. Then so how are you going to fare in the Hungarian Grand Prix next week? It's going to be a different challenge for yourself.
I mean, I think last season I think in Motor Run the Race in Spa, I think. Because I got second, I got that because you were commentating on it when I was like on the grass on the Kemmel Straight. Like I think you mentioned it was like some other race like back in the day in real life in F1. I can't remember, but yeah, Hungary like I don't really like the layout. I don't think most do on this game just because of the dirty air nature and basically somewhat impossible to overtake. But I did get my first race win in gold last season in Hungary, so kind of 50-50. But yeah, I just need to nail the strategy call again next week, just like today with the help of Villiers. So yeah, just need to get some more laps in for Hungary and manage a dirty air. I think it's going to be the key point for next week.
Shocking stuff. I can't remember half the stuff that goes on. I just make it up as I go along. Um, and of course, this is a big step forward in the championship. I was saying in commentary that this is a massive step forward for yourself in terms of your championship campaign. What do you think about that then? Am I putting too much pressure on yourself? Do you feel that it's job done?
No, it's definitely not job done. I think the gap is like what 30 something points, and last season Sam came back from like what 100 and something points deficit to immortal. So anything's possible in ALR Gold. So like as I said last week, and basically just like my league racing approach for basically forever, like one race at a time. And I mean, I was kind of how can I describe it? Like I was screaming when I saw like Medi pitted for Hearts because I knew that um he wouldn't survive on the Hearts. Same for other people. So I guess today's a good race and just unlucky on other people's part who boxed for Hearts when it was raining. It's just poor timing. But yeah, one race at a time and today's good luck is gonna probably catch up to me some other race. So yeah, can't be too confident.
Good stuff today, Flippy. Your 8th win of your career. We'll see you in Hungary. And let's come to a Bunsen who finished second today. This is your first Grand Prix finish in gold, and it's a podium. Not only a podium, it's a second, and only a second. It's 2/10 of a second away from Flippy. Goodness gracious me! You was absolutely steaming it to the back of Flippy. What you thinking about a wild lunge at the bus stop chicane on that last lap?
Yeah, for lunch the gap was too big, and I didn't want to risk a penalty, and I'm a fair driver, so when there's a gap, I go for it, but there was no gap for me for the lunch.
Better man than me, but then again, I'm not a driver. So, let's talk about your race then. Of course, we heard about Flippy starting on the hard tires. Did you know about the rain at the beginning of the race? And did you check the weather forecast to see about the whole outcome of this race? And did that help you decide on what strategy to go on?
Like the weather podcast was from quali to the race very different because in the quali there was like reported rain and heavy rain afterwards, and from the timing there would shown that you can start on the medium and then go to the rain. But then the weather report changed when we got to the race, and then we had to start on the hard to make it to the rain. And I actually was really surprised that so many people started on the medium because that instantly destroyed their race.
Certainly did, and they probably using the Samsung Weather app, which is what I do. I always get caught short. And towards the end as well, did you feel that the race win was on the cards for you today? I know you caught up so close towards the end. Did you feel when you was catching it to Flippy taking chunks out of him, was there a chance that he was like, "Oh, I'm going to win this race"?
I saw that the gap was closing down like in the laps before, so like 5/10 a lap. But then at the end, I think his tires really died. And then it was like a second per lap. But in the rain stint, I did like one mistake where I beached on the curb. I think that was the race deciding moment because I lost like 4 attempts.
On those 410 sounds have been crucial towards the end as well. And I love this circuit, Spa. It looks like that you like this circuit as well in terms of the flow and the weather as well. Is this a circuit that you're quite fond of and enjoy driving?
Like in the races and like in the past F1 games, that was a really great circuit for me. But on this game and qualifying, I'm lacking like 4 tenths a lap for some reason I can't explain. I'm just not fast enough in quali. But this track was one of my favorite tracks.
Absolutely good stuff indeed. Thank you very much for talking to me, Buns. A brilliant job indeed. And am I saying your name right, more importantly?
Bunse.
Ah, Bunza. Serious Merchant, note that down for next week. Thank you very much, Bunza. Brilliant job today on second position in your best result of your career so far. And Flippy taking this 8th Grand Prix win as well. Superb stuff indeed. Of course, that's a big old gap now in the Drivers' Championship. Tomorrow night, it is going to be silver. Are we going to get some more wet weather in silver? I cannot wait then. I haven't got the standings up for tomorrow, which is shocking stuff indeed. But all I know is that KD leads the championship with Tori in second position. Don't know the gap, but we'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.